take like 4 because of simple stuff. Okay, so in $1, I'm using your dryer sheet right now. Anyway, I noticed I didn't go over 5. So 5 is just a join. I think I've shown you joins before. I really shouldn't even have to go over this because I think it's fairly simple. But let's just talk about why we have to have a join, and I'll let you guys figure out how the join works. I was going to give you an example of the join using different tables, but you know what? I think you can get it from my previous videos. But let's talk about why we need to do a join. So write a query that gives us the invoice number, customer number, blah, 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 for all the customers with a customer balance of 1,000 or more. So you first kind of need to see, what does that mean? Let me see if I can pull this up smaller. So the reason why you have to do a join is because some of the stuff that you need to know is in one table and some's in the other. So the customer balance, remember if you watch the normalization videos, which you should have by now, I think. Technically, I guess it's not due until about the same time this is. But anyway, the customer balance, this is the overall across probably all the invoices the customer's ever had. This is how much they owe, I guess. So that the customer balance, since it pertains only to the customer, you're not going to know what the balance for the customer is unless you know what the customer number is, right? This is a determinant. That's the name for it, right? So this is functionally dependent on the customer number. The customer number is a determinant for the customer balance. So you have to get that from the customer table. And I think invoice amount, it's right there. That's only in them. You won't know what the invoice amount is unless you know what the invoice number is. You won't know 235.89 unless you know 8,000. So that's only in the invoice table. Again, because of normalization, these have been broken up. If you want to put this stuff back together, you have to do a join. You have to perform a join. And I'll give you this much hint. You join, you do an inner join. I'll almost tell you. I'll have just, the code, syntax. You inner join on the customer number from the invoice table being equal to the customer number, which is the primary key, from the customer 8A table. So the customer number in the invoice, let's look at it one more time. The customer number over here is a foreign key. That's how the two things are joined. That's how you need to create your join. So that's an explanation of 5. 6, I think you can get that. That's just an aggregate, a little bit of review. 7 is notice it says we do this together in lecture. I'm going to show you how to do 7 in the next video, straight up, because we didn't really go over it in class. So stay tuned.